The following animation was created in collaboration with Islands of Brilliance, a nonprofit organization that serves children and young adults on the autism spectrum. The main character depicted in the video is based on the lived experience of young adults on the autism spectrum, including the lead animator for this project, who are members of the creative team at Islands of Brilliance. The animation enables adults to observe a student experiencing a challenging situation and begin to ask why in order to provide better support or instruction to meet the student's needs.
All right, class, everyone find a group to join.
Have you supported students who have had a similar experience? Behaviors observed from students can present in many ways, whether it's an intensity level like the experience we just saw or something more subtle. We have all had an experience where a student's behavior has interrupted not only their learning, but those around them as well. Today, we're introducing the concept of root cause analysis. This allows us to discover the root cause of behavior. Going through the process helps identify the skills or strategies needed to be taught or the environmental supports that have to be adjusted to better meet a student's needs. Root cause analysis happens during step 2 of the College and Career Ready IEP process and helps us analyze the information we have available to determine disability-related needs. When we ask ourselves the why behind what we see and hear, we can help better support a student and their needs. Here we have met our student, Morgan. Morgan experienced a situation that blocked their access, engagement, and progress in their education. Why do you think Morgan's body reacted in the way it did? Why did we see such intense behavior? Rather than using surface level explanations that may be filled with assumptions and bias, let's gather more data and use root cause analysis in order to go deeper and understand. Let's imagine you are gathering observational data to help inform our root cause conversation. Let's rewind this event and watch as Morgan transitions and begins class, making note of the barriers and lagging skills Morgan might be experiencing.
Good morning, class. As we settle in, please take out your homework and have it on your desk ready to discuss.
I forgot my homework.
All right, everyone, we are going to do something a little different and break into small groups to discuss today's homework. You may pick out your own partners for this exercise and like 2 to 3 students in each group.
Hey, stop talking.
Morgan, please do not raise your voice while I am giving instructions to the class. Okay, start finding your group.
Hey, want to be in a group?
Yeah, that's cool. Hey, did you do the homework?
I did. You? It was kind of tricky today, but the book isn't too bad. I actually kind of like it.
They don't follow the rules. I don't want to be in their group.
All right, class, everyone find a group to join.
What did we observe? We saw that Morgan wasn't able to meet the classroom expectations because of an unmet need, barrier, or a skill that might still be developing. We can use Morgan's experience to walk through the root cause process and follow the trail of whys until we get to a skill that can be taught, practiced, reinforced, and supported. We're going to model one possible root cause analysis trail from beginning to a hypothesized disability-related need. What did we observe? Let's begin to ask why. Morgan has physically pushed another student and yelled out during the transition to getting into groups. Why did Morgan respond this way?
Possibly because Morgan can't self-regulate when frustrated and their body reacts.
Why does Morgan's body react this way?
Maybe because their stress response system was triggered and Morgan doesn't have the coping skills to mitigate the trigger.
Why does Morgan's stress response system get triggered?
We noticed the peers were talking when the teacher was talking, which Morgan often struggles with and has struggled with in the past because it's breaking a school rule. We can hypothesize that Morgan wants to avoid working with peers because they are not being quiet and listening while the teacher is talking.
Why does Morgan struggle when students don't follow the school rules?
Perhaps Morgan's brain needs rules to be followed to feel safe. Maybe the students talking during the teacher's directions broke, in Morgan's perception, the school rules, which activated the stress response system.
This conversation led us to hypothesize that Morgan struggles to be flexible with the hidden social content of the fact that kids don't always follow those school rules. Morgan's team has noticed many rigid thoughts about social situations in which this is one example. We can take this hypothesis and create an effect statement, like Morgan had an outburst when their peers were not listening to the teacher's instruction because Morgan struggles with flexibility in social situations, like when school rules aren't followed. This could lead to a disability-related need for social flexibility. For example, Morgan needs to increase their ability to access flexibility skills to be able to engage in social situations like working in groups. It is important when asking the whys to follow one hypothesis to the conclusion in order to identify the skills Morgan needs to learn and the environmental supports that need to be adjusted to better meet Morgan's needs. Now it's your turn. Think about the behavior you saw from Morgan when you watched this event. Write down the behaviors you observed. Pick one of those behaviors and start asking yourself why. Pause the video now and practice using the root cause analysis process of asking why. Remember to go past surface level assumptions and bias and get to possible skills that can be taught, practiced, reinforced, and supported. There are many different root cause possibilities, and there's no one answer because every student is different, and students may have more than one root cause. Maybe your team came up with questions to ask that led to a root cause in self-awareness, like Morgan struggles with being able to identify the trigger and how it affects their body. Or maybe your conversation led to some organizational skills. Or maybe your discussion led to social awareness skills, being able to navigate entering a group and understanding the social hierarchy context. Maybe your conversation centered around self-advocacy skills, being able to regulate through a trigger and advocate to get one's needs met. Did you catch some of these root causes or whys? Did you discuss more than one possible root cause? Remember, there is no one answer, and even if you discussed more than one root cause, it is important to follow the path to narrow down to a disability-related need that is a skill that can be taught, practiced, reinforced, and supported. You may have many behaviors or effects of disability that are addressed by one root cause or disability-related need. Asking and understanding the whys gives us a skill to target when identifying support for future growth. Once you've dug into the whys, it is also important to take the next step and co-plan with the student. If the student doesn't have a communication system that is understood by all yet, or asking them is not developmentally appropriate, reach out to their family or their caregivers to best understand the individual's wants and needs. Gaining a student's perspective during an IEP process is critical to foster and develop the skills of self-determination. It lets them know that they're a part of the decision-making process and have a voice in their goals and supports. No matter what root cause or causes your team decides to pursue, involving the student, remaining curious, and moving forward with empathy can help build a plan of support that can help the student manage those triggers, learn skills, and address the root cause. Understanding the experience and events from the student's perception is also important because the experience is very real to their body and cannot be dismissed. Let's go back to Morgan. When the team engaged with Morgan to gain information and learn Morgan's wants and needs, they were able to integrate Morgan's perspective into the supports they would provide. Here is how Morgan described the experience. Morgan brought up how hard it is to stay calm and control their body with all those triggers. After speaking with Morgan, the team determined they would focus on Morgan's lagging skill of identifying feelings of stress in their body and getting help when feeling those sensations. In other words, the root cause analysis and student co-planning revealed that the team would move forward in creating an IEP that not only included what the team came up with as disability-related needs, but also included Morgan's self-identified need. Next, the team moved into goal setting and identified any special education services that would promote growth in these skill areas. Once the root cause analysis was complete, co-planning goals and supports were defined, Morgan had a plan to grow their skills. If behavior continued, the team would meet again and go through the root cause analysis process to determine other possible underlying reasons for the behavior. We hope this story highlights how root cause analysis can take many different paths. No student or situation is the same. We encourage you to stay curious and ask questions. Together, this can lead to better teacher efficacy and improved student outcomes. Read more about the root cause process on the Wisconsin DPI website.